Let's talk about this guy, Kennewick Man. Well, actually, he looked more like this. He's over 9,000 years old and stands at a height of 5'8" tall. This is what they think Kennewick Man looked like, using clues from the skull and adding markers. He was found by two men who thought it was a rock. They found his skull, which actually looked like this. This initiated a police investigation in the waters where it was found, and eventually it was handed over to the police and then to James Chatters, a forensic anthropologist who thought Kennewick was a European man and that his skeleton was only a few hundred years old. After an X-ray and a CAT scan, he finds a Cascade Point arrowhead, about 5,000 years old, embedded in Kennewick Man's pelvis. Less than a week later, Kennewick Man was confiscated from Chatters by the police. A theory that we'll be talking about today is that people from Asia came to the Americas and evolved into modern-day Native Americans. It's also not long before 5 different tribes claimed Kennewick Man as their ancestor and demand a burial for him. A big controversy that we'll also talk about today dates back to the late 1800s, where a Surgeon General orders soldiers collect Native American skulls. At that time, it was to study superiority based on skull shape. Of course, scientific beliefs change, but the collection grows, having 200,000 skulls by 1990. The Native Americans have a strong belief about graves and respect for the dead. These skull collectors deeply offended these people. In response, the Native Americans have claims over Kennewick Man. They want to rebury Kennewick, and the scientists don't want that to happen because Kennewick Man will be permanently lost. 8 leading anthropologists state that Native Americans have no concrete proof that they are related to Kennewick Man and that he should not be handed over. Another theory is that the skull was not Native American at all. Instead, that it resembles the Innu, a tribe from the Pacific who now lives in Japan. Another one is that people used boats and settled on the edge of the Americas. In other words, no one could be completely sure who Kennewick Man is. However, after years of scientific study, Kennewick Man's remains were reburied in a secret location in February 2017 by the Confederate tribes of Umatilla. There's still many questions that scientists have about Kennewick Man, but those questions will never be answered. Some of those questions are, where did he come from? What was life like for him? But the main answer is, we don't know. And we probably never will, until we find another Kennewick Man.